Alright, welcome everybody to another Unreal stream here at CG Spectrum. Today is Canada Day, so it's a holiday over here, and I'm here with you guys doing my stream while it's nice and sunny and warm outside. Hey, Dave says Happy Canada Day. Dave also from Canada. Today I didn't really have much that I could think of what we're going to do today, but then I came up with two things that definitely will fill the 2 hours, so we should be pretty good. But it's definitely going to be a subject of animation rigging again by the time we get to the second hour, or it depends on how we do this exactly. Hey, we got Sarah here, welcome. And I'm actually still waiting for the project that Benjamin Oman has made a few weeks ago. Wow, it's been a while actually, maybe a month ago. And I did say I was going to show everybody this project of his, and then Unreal 5 came out and it got lost in the dust. So I do have it still here. The only problem was I should have opened it like maybe 10 minutes earlier than I did, because it's still got 2,500 shaders to compile. So we're gonna do that one once it's ready. Oh, Bodhi's here. Hey, Bodhi. He says, "I welcome." Anyway, so this project's on the go. Ben has did this by himself, and he spent a lot of time building it up. It's using assets from the marketplace and constructed this sort of very interesting gameplay and stuff. So I didn't want to miss it. Make sure everybody got to appreciate it before it became too I don't know, old, because he's busy working with Mark on another big project idea that they have. So they're really ambitiously jumping through everything. But otherwise, the other thing I was going to talk about today, which I'm just jump to, is the PoseWrangler, which is by Chris Evans, and it's something I haven't tried before, but I did want to try it out. And I think Sarah, actually, you talked about it or brought it up just recently as well. It's supposed to be able to let you rig using the same rigging system that they use to rig metahumans, apparently, which is a really good rig, and especially when it comes to the facial stuff. So I'm really interested to see how that works. I don't know what's involved with rigging it, so there's going to be a really slow process of me trying to figure out what exactly this even does and how it works. And I sure hope that it actually does what I think it does. Otherwise we'll be like, it didn't do anything. That's too bad. But anyway, Chris Evans is definitely well known in the industry for his rigging ability with Epic, and so I am pretty curious to see how this works and what it does. In fact, while we're waiting for these shaders to compile, we could even just get right into that right now. Sarah says, "Oh, like the gorilla rig." Yeah, that's right. That was exactly what. That's actually what got my attention first. I saw that on LinkedIn a long time ago, and I was like, "Wow, how are they doing that?" And then they're using the MetaHuman rig, and I'm like, "What? You can do that?" And in the comments, somebody mentioned, "Oh, you can use this plugin." So I posted it on the rigging channel, and then swiftly forgot about it. So. But I'm always looking for a good rigging tool, and if it's one that's definitely been made with the acknowledgement of how Epic works, and especially with the metahumans, there's a lot of interesting potential here. I don't know. The real question is it easy to use? It does require a lot of potential. Like when you look at the skeleton of the metahuman, it's crazy complicated. So we'll see if it is still. Oh, look, it's only got 450 shaders to compile. So we are ready to move on to take a look at Ben's project here. And hopefully, like I said, I haven't opened it since this is coming straight off the SVN server. So I don't know if the version that he has on the SVN server is ready or not. But we're going to find out, because that's how we roll. So we just finished all the shaders. I'm gonna hit the play button. We're gonna see what happens here. All right, so we started. In fact, I should play from, let's do it proper here. Oh, and also let's turn on some desktop audio. We probably should reduce the music a bit here. And what am I doing here? Launch as standalone game or select the viewport. Alright, let's try this. I don't think that's what I wanted to do. Problem is when you run it as a standalone game, everything doesn't work the way you think it does. In fact, it's a great way to test what your game project will look like. Because you'll find out, hey, that didn't at all turn out the way I wanted it to. But anyway, so far so good, so let's give it a try here. Once I get running again. So, Ben put together this interface as well, which is pretty neat. I think there's a lot to be said just on that alone. And tried to, as he was doing it through the Q&As, he was trying to say, yeah, is this what you gotta do? And then he realized that I don't read things very well, so he's now forced you to press F in order for you to move on, which is great, because otherwise you're trying to run and click buttons and you're like, wait, I'm supposed to read it? Then you hit F. Terrible for that. So these are assets you might recognize from, I think this is a medieval pack that's been around for a while. And there are really nice assets for sure, because they've got all those pivot points, but they are also really expensive. And I think this character also is coming from a pack that is from the marketplace that was free, or maybe still is free, that you can grab. So well, I don't know if I want to spoil it, but he's got a little bit of a puzzle gameplay that he sort of worked with. It's interesting when you're building a game idea and you're trying to like come up with how to make it work. There's a lot of iterations that happened, and I must admit Ben is working really hard. He worked really hard to like sort of get this to be fleshed out and ready to go. And he's not even taking the game design course. He's taking like game production, which is it's more about the art than it is about the game design. But what he discovered when he first did it was the challenges of just trying to get the player to navigate into certain areas, and realizing that once you get someone playing your level, they don't really understand what it is that you want them to do. Oh, I just wasn't supposed to do this because this was a shortcut to show you what will come down in the level later on. So there's a little highlight preview. Oh, maybe it is part of the story then. I don't know. That was definitely something that changed. There. I don't think I was... This is definitely... He's made it so that you can play through the game much faster than you normally would. It's blocked by the path of the castle. Can't reach the princess. Just go find the orbs. Break the barrier. One that is located down the road. Follow the path to the right side of the fountain. And so that was a big challenge for me when he was building it, was that like, where do I go? And even though it might seem really obvious to him where to go, for me I was a little bit confused for the first few gameplays of it. And then eventually realized there's a path over here. And then we start the puzzle. So, statue seems to fit in that hole, but I can't push it yet. But I have a feeling I can push it now because I have that cheat I'm not supposed to have yet. But that is the idea. I'm gonna go probably try to do it properly here. So you gotta go find this path, which again, it took me a while to figure this out. But that's okay, because sometimes you're not supposed to necessarily help the player that much. I'm not supposed to be able to push that yet. This is not fair. I'm totally cheating all the time here. I'm supposed to go over here and look for a way to get out. There's these little gray blocks around on the grass. I think that's actually a LOD is not working properly here. It's interesting. They're the flowers, aren't they? Just kind of popping into existence, so seems like the LEDs are not properly set up right now. Anyways, you run around and you can get around the wall, which is down there. Gets you over here. Now I've got the pink orb. And I have to press F. I think he took the mechanics for the ability to push objects around. It was a free asset that came out. It was like a puzzle game kit or something. And he managed to take that game mechanic and just plug it into his own game, which is pretty cool. I don't remember if he struggled with it or not, but he definitely got it going on his own. But it just goes to show there's a lot of great free resources out there as well. Obviously, CG Spectrum has a framework as well that allows you to build levels and game design, but you can find a lot of great resources available just from within the marketplace. Okay, so we have the ability to push things. We should be able to go up into the castle, right? That's the idea. He says the same comment. Oh, it seems like I need to put something, ooh, that was colored, into the sockets to break the barrier. Maybe the Lord Commander knows more. Okay, here we go. No, he says the same thing. Is he the Lord Commander? No, I have no idea. Alright, let's go see if I can put something here. E. Oh, we just cut to a sequence. Got some Niagara VFX going on there. Sarah's like, oh, new free stuff on the marketplace soon. Yeah, that's right. I actually checked to see if there was any free new stuff, and I'm like, oh, I guess not. But that's probably because A, it's the first day of the month for me anyways, and also B, I happen to know that Epic is on holidays this week and next week, so they may or may not actually have that free month assets ready for another week. Oh, I guess I had the green one. I wasn't really supposed to have the green one yet. I was gonna look at it to find out that I don't have the green one yet, but obviously we can pass through here now, but I'm gonna miss a huge portion of the game here if I don't show you where the green one is. I see you broke the purple barrier. In the meantime, I found out the second orb. I found out about the second orb. You can find it inside the cave behind the village. Use the boxes around the village to climb up the entrance. Be careful. So far, no one came back from within. That was a very clear description. Clearly, I was not... when I was testing this, I struggled with this concept. The cave is just up there. It's hard to see. So we needed some really, really careful direction to understand that I'm supposed to go that way. For people like me who are terrible at playing games, apparently. Alright, let's see if I can do that. And then I'm supposed to go and jump up on top of it. Oh, Sarah says first Tuesday of the month, or Wednesdays for Aussies. I thought it was Mondays, but yeah, Tuesdays, Mondays. Do remember seeing that it's the beginning of the week, of the first week of the month, and it's definitely not that right now. Ah, man, how do I do this again? I jump up on top of the house. Oh. Oh, do I get up there? Uh-oh. This is where I'm gonna get stuck, because I don't remember how I got up there. I need to get up there. Alright, time for gameplay purposes here. I need to actually, like, play the game. Uh-oh. I just broke something. I don't think I was supposed to go back. Trying all kinds of things right now. It's not working. Can't even hit escape. So, Alt F4 is how I'm gonna exit that one. Well, that's too bad. I never actually get to show the next part. So let's go and change our start location, or I can just change my player start. And we'll jump right to the part where we get to the cave. Because there's a fair bit there. We got a little sneak preview of it for a minute there. Let's make sure I play from current camera location. Is it gonna work if I do a standalone from current camera location? No. No, that does not work. Alright, we'll switch it back to selected viewport. Oh, stop. Play. Okay, here we go. Entering the cave. So I happen to remember that he changed the acoustics a little bit in here. Although I don't hear any changes. Supposed to get more of a cave sense as you go into this cave. Oh, here we go. I think we got some audio now. Gap on the other side is pretty big. I should try to activate the mechanism on the floor to see what happens. Boom. Okay, so that was an important part because now move that piece. So anyway, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of nice elements here that are pretty hidden away. It was one of the things, my feedback I guess I gave to him was like, you know, he's built this really elaborate long game, but it's hard to show people the whole thing in a short period of time for like a demo reel. So it's like, it's difficult to, it's almost like he made too much for the purpose of showing off his art or showing off like an art system, because you can only, you know, show off so much. Otherwise, you're really literally building like an entire game for somebody that has to play through the whole thing to see the whole thing. I don't know if that's just my opinion anyways. Rhetorical question. There is a second box, a smaller one, by the house. You could use that one to get the bigger one. Wow, rhetorical question. You know very much about this than I did. I did not catch the little box. That was great. And that would have answered why I couldn't figure out how to get up it. I always thought I had to just jump on the edge of the thing. But yeah, a small box would have worked fine. Over there it is, the green orb, the fell orb. I need to make my way all the way back there. This will not be easy. But I can save the game. I think when Ben first brought this up, he had this amazing, I think he got that feature from one of the free assets of how to save games, so that it was like saving it to the disk, and he was using this really interesting process that I've never done before. And he's like, I can't get it to work. Can you help me? And I'm like, whoa, what is all this? But so there is a really nice system you can use for saving a disk that's like utilizes a different kind of mechanism than when I'm traditionally used to like saving variables and stuff. Okay, so I've saved the game. Let's take a look here. We've got a green glowing thingy over there that I'm supposed to probably get to, and then I got a piece of pad over there I'm supposed to move. So last time I played this level, he didn't really color what the pad, like the green light where the pad was, he didn't put in there. And it was really hard for me to understand what I was supposed to do, because the pad looked exactly like the rocks, and I couldn't tell that that was the goal of where I was heading. But now with that green light, I mean, kind of know that he changed it to put the green light in there, so maybe I'm cheating a little bit, but I think it works. It makes me feel like I have to go over there. For now, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I feel like that pad has to be over there. Oh, never mind. I can just make it. All right. Now. I'm like, wait. What am I missing here? Am I supposed to be able to make this jump over here? Oh, I can. Okay. Well, that's what I gotta do then. All right. Try this again. All right. Made it across to the other half. There, more green glowing. That was the one I couldn't find. It was that one up on the top there. Because there's no way you could see that. I mean, he could knew where it was, but I was like, I don't know. When you're looking up, it's dark, shadowy corner somewhere. Alright. Let's see if I can get back up there again. Whoa, computer's getting hot. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me. Forget what I'm supposed to do here. Maybe I'm supposed to go all the way back. Oh, never mind. It's such a difficult portion of the level, though. And the part that I'm probably not going to do, for the sake of interest, is the part that happens after I actually get to my goal. But I'll give it a go. There we go. Alright, I made it. Riz says, are you playing a game? I am. I'm playing a game that is was made by one of our students in about a period of like, I don't know, 6 weeks or something. It's crazy fast. And I was meaning to show everybody it a while ago, but I didn't. I got distracted by Unreal 5. So here's the thing: we need a lot of sound effects in this portion. That should be all like, oh no, picking up the fell orb triggered the traps on my way back. I need to make sure not to fall into the abyss. So this is kind of a cool idea because he's forced the player to replay the whole level again. But you know, obviously the challenges are a lot higher. So that was pretty smart. Here's my hard drive dying on me. Let me put that to the side there. That's a long-standing issue that won't affect our gameplay. Don't worry. So anyway, so replay your level. What the heck was that? it's actually a really nice way to like maximize the environment that you've built. So if you strategize it, and this is totally game design, level design specifically, so that you get the player to go through a part of your game and then tell them to go back through the part of the game, but you know, obviously make it either more challenging or more interesting. You don't want to make them feel like they're grinding too much, but it allows you to put twice as much polish on your level, because now you don't have to stretch all your ability of decorating twice the level. So this is the part that gets a little trickier, because you know the game was already pretty tricky. But notice how those green orbs are right going where those pads are. So I've never actually successfully gotten through this part. I would say this is maybe a little bit too hard, but we're gonna try it anyways. Oh, look at that. Survived so far. Okay, I don't even know what to do next now. Never actually gotten this far. I usually died immediately after this. There's one that goes by that way and one that goes by that way. I'm not sure. I feel like I have to go back the way I came, but it's possible that I'm gonna get stuck. I don't think he doesn't let me go this way. But before I spoil my awesome opportunity I have here, although I'm tempted to just jump over there. I'm just gonna let this one go by and then jump down here. And jump over here. Yikes. And then I gotta get across to that one, so it's just the two of them. Oh man, I actually made it. Oh, I know I didn't. Gosh darn it. It's too hard. He does save the game though, so you can keep going. I feel tempted to give it another try, since I did so well last time. Let's see if I can get back up to the top here. Yikes. But it's that one that goes across, actually goes right over there. Maybe I should jump over here instead. Oh man, there's like 3 of them. Actually, I wonder if I could have just jumped from the other spot. Ah! Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Yikes. Alright. Wait for that to go by. Let's see if I can make this. Hey, there we go. Pretty sure I did this before, right? So it should be possible. Uh-oh, I see things flying by and I didn't check where it was coming from. Oh, it comes from these guys. Hey, this is actually kind of fun. Until I die, and then I'll be like, ah. Notice that there's no save points yet either, so I'm really doomed if I don't make it. Alright, so there's one going by there, and that's going by there. I feel like they're not timed out to match. Alright, there we go. Whoa! I got lucky. Oh, there was another post I could have put on. Let's go for it. Hey, I made it to the save point. Alright. I cannot believe I made it. Wow, those are my exact words. These traps are deadly as hell. I should hurry now and destroy the green barrier. Alright, let's give it a go. It's kind of nice to know that I got past that part finally. Oh, jeez. I accidentally die from falling off a cliff. See where that... Oh, look, there's the little box. Ah, it's right there. Just like I was told. I don't have permission to push this box. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe maybe it's because I spawned myself up on top of the cave there. Alright, let me just... Oh, I need both orbs in order to get to the thing. So I got the green orb. Luckily he has this shortcut for me here. I already had the green orb, actually. It's the purple one I need. Alright. We get to watch these cinematics again. Like, can we put something as purple? Something purple. You have to realize though, when I do play these, it is a Q&A session, so I don't really want to spend my entire Q&A time playing their level when, you know, I could be talking about things that are maybe more useful. But it is always important to like give them your first impression, and I find that oh, actually that brings up another thing that Scott's talking about. I'll talk about that in a sec. Everything needs something purple. That's funny. But yeah, just the idea of getting fresh eyes to test out your level makes such a difference. It really opens up all kinds of problems. Uh-oh, I can't get past this thing yet. Oh man, didn't think of that problem. Okay, maybe. There's a little fade screen. No. I haven't triggered something to get rid of the blocking volume here. That's too bad. I'll have to cheat to show you how the level ends. It probably was... I mean, it probably does work. We'll just jump over here. Play it from this side. So now we're on the other side. Hey, look, it looks really foggy over here. Didn't even come over here and look. So anyway, it's good to let someone test your level. So what Scott's done is he's created a new channel for us in Slack, which allows us to test out stuff. It's sort of just a thought process that I guess the game design guys are talking about. And so we created the level, or created the channel, and just called it like open chat or open test. So anyone's welcome to join it. It's a public channel who's within Slack, I guess. But it's just a place where I think the idea is that we're going to create events where people can get together, like create a meeting, a time where people jump in and let you actually watch the other person play through the level, so you can find out where they get stuck and get some immediate feedback based on their first impression. But the reason why we wanted to call it test, or sorry, open test, not open game test, was because you can do this on all kinds of different types of mediums. And I actually talked to Ben and Mark, these guys, for the other project they're doing, which is more of a short in Unreal rather than a gameplay. And I'm like, that's an excellent place. You can get in there, just show it to, you know, a select number of people, find out what their immediate feedback is while they're watching it, and start deciding whether or not they should make some changes or what to their storyboards. Especially before you get too deep into your polish, you kind of want that feedback immediately and get a sense how it's going. So this definitely applies for games, and that's why they hire like teams of people, usually called QAs for quality assurance, but also they just bring in volunteers who want to come in and just play the game in a test environment. They'll actually record them and watch them, see where they get stuck on the puzzles and everything. It's a whole process to really get a sense of what the player experience is like, who doesn't have the bias of knowing how the gameplay is supposed to be done before they get to it. And so for me as a tester, I only get to I only really get to do that once, and then I become a biased player because I kind of know where I'm going with it. But there we are, quest completed. Somewhere there's a princess I'm supposed to save, but I don't know. One benefit is you get to go do a free fall. Whoa, that's a bit of a cheat. Free fall at the end as a reward. There isn't actually any like final cinematics or anything. What is funny though is I only really got to see the castle once because you only get to see it when you finish the game, right? So, and this happens all the time when you're building games too. It's like the very end of the game, only a very small percentage of your players are actually going to see that part of the game. Most, like 99% of them are going to see the very beginning of it, but very small few of them are going to see the last portions of it. So you have to kind of build your scope and your budget around that kind of knowledge that, well, you know, how much time do you want to invest on something that only just like 10% of your, well, it depends how many people actually finish your game, I guess. Sarah says, is her name Zelda? Wow. That's interesting. Maybe. I'll have to ask Ben. Maybe he had this big, elaborate storyline that I just didn't expect. Coming from the medieval pack. Anyway, there you go. We got to play through the whole level. I mean, not completely seamless, but we definitely got to see the whole thing, so that was kind of fun. And it ran. And you can kind of see what we got here. We got these blocking volumes around here to prevent the player from leaving. This is using like a spline, I guess, for doing the pathing. Which I think all these assets are coming from the medieval pack, which is kind of handy. That's why it's kind of nice to work with pre-existing assets, so you don't have to. You can kind of see what workflows are that people produce rather than trying to invent it on your own. Especially when you're first starting out, because it's nice to know what works or what is a good idea. Zelda, the princess. Yeah, well, and then there was a lot of stuff in here. I'm trying to think if there's anything that is worth exploring, but a lot of it is very much way more complex than what I usually expect from somebody coming out of game production in the 12-week course. Like this is going well beyond what people usually do. So, but what's really fun about it is that it just goes to show you don't have to be like a pro programmer. You just have to work hard and dedicate a lot of time and work with the resources you have available to you, and you can accomplish some pretty neat things. And the fun thing with Ben and Mark is they both kind of work together a lot, so they spend a lot of time collaborating. They're in the same class, which helps, but they spend a lot of offline time collaborating and really learning off of each other and pushing each other. And I think that's, I probably talked about this before, but it really goes to show how collaboration can make a huge difference in someone's ability. You know, and if you do it right and you do it well, you can accomplish some pretty interesting things. I don't think there's too much in here that I'm going to dive into because it gets pretty weird and I don't remember any of it, so I would be like exploring a lot before I find out what it is. So we'll jump into the next job, which I've got 1 hour and 15 minutes to figure out how to use rigging, particularly this other rig, PoseWrangler, which is the other thing I was going to talk about today, and let my computer take a break. It's like I can hear it back there roaring away, trying to keep up with all this complicated 3D gameplay stuff. Let's put the music back up a little bit again. Turn off my desktop audio so I don't get any Slack notifications confusing you. And if you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, feel free to bring it up. I don't have a really difficult schedule today. I'm just going to spend some time learning how to do this using this tool. And this may end up being really short because I may find out that this tool is not what I expected it to. But based on what I can see, they're Python scripts, so I should be able to get this into do this as a plugin. Now I gotta figure out how to use GitHub here. Download zip. I've got a README file. So inside of the zip, we have the main folder with all the scripts. So I'm gonna probably put that into my scripts folder for my Maya folder here. So I take this, put it into documents, Maya, scripts. If you put it in scripts, main scripts folder, it'll try to run it for every version of Maya, but there's also a scripts folder inside of each one, which allows you to isolate it to a specific version if you need to. But sometimes when you're dealing with like C++ like compiled plugins, you have to be very careful about which version that you're working with in it. This one, because it's all Python, then we should be fine to just open it in whatever version you want. Okay, it's true. Let's see here. Is there a README in here? Open that with Notepad here. PoseWrangler is a simple UI. Create and edit pose-driven relationships in Maya using the Maya UE4 RBF plugin. I'm looking for word wrap. Where's word wrap? I thought it was up here. Ugh. Anyways, I'll have to just scroll. Oh, never mind. It's not that long. So if it's a simple UI for creating and editing pose-driven relationships. Pose-driven relationships. That's weird. This plugin is distributed by Epic Games and installed by Quixel Bridge. Oh, it's the it's playing off of the one already in there, initially with MetaHuman source files. Wow. Okay, so how does that work? Initially created by Chris Evans, maintained, improved, prettied up by Judd Simitov. Sorry if I said that wrong. Opening tool. To load the tool, you can call it like so. From PoseWrangler, import PoseWrangler as UI show. Okay. Well, I've put it in the scripts, so now when I open up Maya, hopefully it's going to catch what I just put in there, and we'll be able to run that command line. If not, I gotta do a little more playing around. Anything else in here that's interesting? What do we got over here? If it's a PoseWrangler, I feel like this is going to be a lot less about full-on rig, but more about face poses, which can be pretty interesting too. But I still doesn't really explain how exactly somebody rigged up a gorilla, because that, unless a gorilla is one of the MetaHuman options, but I don't think so. It would only be a stepping stone towards the full-on thing. So maybe I'll find out that we're only doing poses, not actually a full-on rig. Let's see here. If I go to my script editor, what is kind of neat is, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm not going to have much to talk about if that's all I'm doing. But if we could get these poses exported into Unreal, that might be kind of an interesting workflow, just to see what that looks like. Let's see if we can actually get that far. Oh, what am I doing here? I got my command line right down here. I'm going to be writing something in Python from pose. I can just copy it, I guess. Or maybe I'll just put it right into a script so we can see what's going on here. and play. Error file. Site packages. No module named PoseWrangler. Okay. So clearly I didn't put it in the right place. Any more information to work with here? Alright, well, let's try. There's the initiate Python file there. Putting it right into the 2022 folder. Let's see if we can get that working. From what I remember, I think this Python file will try to run things immediately off of the startup. But I don't know, we'll see if I'm right about that. No. All right. Well, that didn't work. Let's try some other idea here. This is my 2022. This might just be an empty file, I'm not sure. Comment because GitHub blocks empty files. Okay. And then PoseWrangler. We got traceback. I mean, I could run that script in here, but I just don't know if that's going to work. I feel like you got to kind of have the other files around. Doesn't seem like that's going to be a great strategy, but we'll try it anyways. And then we have that. We run this. Import name PoseWrangler UI, so then I have to import the other one. This just doesn't seem like the best strategy here. Sometimes there's also another folder or something for like plugins and things. I don't know whether I'm supposed to be in there. Try this. It's also maybe it's not supporting. Ah, that's not right. Not getting anything here. Oh, look. It is looking in there. Import error. File. Maya console line. Cannot import PoseWrangler UI from PoseWrangler. Okay, so it is actually in the right folder path this time, though. So that's maybe an issue where from PoseWrangler, I can't import PoseWrangler UI. We got a class of UI pose driver, and then I minimize that. Drivers, import drivers. That statement is kind of accurate. It's like, can it import name PoseWrangler UI from PoseWrangler? I don't even think PoseWrangler UI is in here. It's a different file. Maybe they changed it. Oh, did I spell that wrong? Wrangler. No, I spelled it right. Well, let's see what's in the PoseWrangler UI file. Maybe they just modified the organization of where things were and then didn't actually... Hey, that folder's empty. That's not good. What's going on? I'm so confused right now. Alright, let's just grab the zip again. I got one in every one of them. But it was actually looking at this one first, so I don't even know what to think of that. I think it does prioritize this over the main one. But I am really curious now. Try this again. This Q&A went from, oh, this is a lot of fun, to, wow, this is really boring. Or this Q&A, this stream. But I'm pretty determined to figure out how to get this working, because it may not be as hard as it seems. It's just that sometimes you get stumped on these issues, and it's just, you're missing one little thing. And once you get it figured out, everything works pretty decently. Alright, this time it's looking in the Python 3.7. Oh boy. Man, I wonder if that has something to do with it. The change between Maya 2021, Maya 2020 and Maya 2022 is that they supported Python 3. And I don't know how exactly that works. Like, how do you pick and choose between which Python you want? I'm gonna open this in Maya 2020, and we'll try it again. Let's see if that was all it was. Takes a lot longer to open Maya 2020. A lot more stuff going on here. Alright, so paste the information from the GitHub, give it a run. You know, it's saying no module called PoseWrangler. which is different than what it said before. So it says it can't find this one, as opposed to it can't find that inside of there, which is a whole different question. Okay, so apparently putting it in the scripts folder is not working for me, but putting it inside of the actual version. Oh, also, I guess what I did was I put it right in the root, which is different than what I'm doing here, where I'm putting it inside of a folder. Hey, there's a scripts folder inside of modules. Oh. That's probably where I was supposed to put it. And then there's a scripts folder in the root, which is where I originally put it. Okay. Let's just see. I have to break this down into very small steps here. Luckily, I've still got a few troubleshooting ideas. So we're going to try this with it inside of the modules scripts folder where I've got the NXT stuff. And we'll see if that has any luck. Right, 2020. No module named PoseWrangler. Okay, so same problem. So now what I'm going to do is take the files inside of that folder. I'm going to put it inside of the 2020 scripts folder, which I know works, or at least it worked for 2022. But this time I'm using my 2020, which has Python 2.7, which is a older version of Python, but that's more than likely what this is written in. Because my 2022 only just announced just a couple months ago that they were going to support Python 3. Okay, and then hopefully we get a slightly different error here. Yes, see, it's a different error. Okay, so cannot import name PoseWrangler UI from PoseWrangler. So we're back to where we were before, but now we're in 2020. I'm curious to see what is... So of the files, we got PoseWrangler UI Python file and a UI Maya file, which it's actually a 3D Max file. Oh my goodness. Is it possible? Oh, there's a mel file there. I was like, is this a Max plugin? Oh no, that isn't my file. That's another file. Oh my goodness. There's no way. This was a Maya plugin. No, it's definitely a Maya plugin. I'm not sure why there's a Max UI in there. Maybe that's because I have 3D Max installed and it identified it as a file that they can use for 3D Max. Not, even though it has nothing to do with that. So I can open it up and it looks like it's a, oh, what do they call these files? A file type that represents this type of thing. Which is a lot like what a, okay, so it's probably going to be calling this for data. And then what we really want is this Python script file, because that's probably going to have all the important stuff that it's looking for here. So I'm going to open that. Take a look at what's inside. By side and commands and UI window. Import PoseWrangler. See, it's the UI that imports the PoseWrangler. It's not the other way around. So, what that means is that this should be the PoseWrangler UI file that's importing. I don't even know what we need to do here. We don't need to import it. PoseWrangler UI again. We could just say this, maybe? Plugin Maya UE4 plugins 2018 was not found in the Maya plugin path. UE4, what does RBF stand for? It's using the Maya UE4 RBF plugin. Okay, let's go find out what that is. Simple visual front end to Maya UE4 RBF plugin delivered from MetaHumans. Okay, I'm at the same place. I still don't know what RBF stands for. What letters are they referring to here? I don't see any connection yet, but I could just be blind. Alright, well. The fact that it's looking for it and it's saying that it's Maya 2018 is highly concerning. Because I don't have a version of Maya 2018 installed. I'm pretty sure. I have 2019. I do not have 2018. Makes me think that Epic is using 2018 right now. Let's just see if I can do a search for this. See, when it's a proper plugin, then it's compiled, right? So then you have to worry about, is it compiled for the correct version of Maya on your computer? So I may be stuck on this one. Which is kind of crazy, because I feel like the whole script is almost there, but... Oh, what's this? Somebody is talking about the same thing. I do have Maya plugin 2020 installed, loaded. I'm assuming it's the M. We're only able to provide support for exporting metahumans from Quixel Bridge. Any issues related to character visuals should be brought up with the Unreal Engine MetaHuman forum. Are there any other issues? I actually do have the MetaHuman plugin installed. I think it's on 2020. So that shouldn't actually be a blockade point for me right now. But I better double check. Quixel Bridge plugin has successfully started. I don't remember what that was for. Maybe that was for the live link. Hi, Finn. Hi. Welcome to our overly techie stream. I may be shifting gears pretty soon because I've still got 50 minutes to kill and I am very stuck. So I may be going, what else do you want to learn about today? So if you have any suggestions, feel free to throw them out. I am still kind of curious to know how the Megascans plugin worked again. We'll just go back to an open up bridge and we'll see about that exporting again. I did import a character before. don't remember which version I did that on. I don't know if it was any time recently though. I'll have to give it a test. Alright. So I gotta sign in still. Jump over to our metahumans. We'll save that for later. Pick one that I've already downloaded. Start MHC. Metahumans character. Maybe that's the character designer. I gotta switch my download or my export settings from Unreal to Maya. It says my plugin is installed. Oh, but I have to update the plugin apparently. Okay, so that's installed and ready. Usually the way Bridge works is you have to have both softwares open at the same time. So I'm gonna assume that's the same flow here. It says download. Okay, thought I already downloaded it. Hence the blue checkbox, but maybe that was for something else. Okay, well, what else can we do here? Does this one say download? They all say download, don't they? This metahuman uses grooms only available at LOD 0 to 1, requiring a high spec machine. Interesting. I guess that's because he's got a beard. I don't remember what character I used actually. I thought it was that guy, so I don't know. Well, we'll let that finish downloading. They do take a while because they're really huge. And we'll see if we can get that character to show up in Maya. At least that's something, I guess. And then let's be like, hey, look, the plugin works. But I've done it before, so it better work. I'm still curious to know what this Start MHC does, so let's try it out. Sends us over here. Please hold while we connect you to MetaHuman Creator. Yeah, so that is what it does. We had a conversation about this earlier where one of the students, John, was talking about how like it's very impressive that what they're doing, where they're actually streaming 3D content from a server to your computer. So, if I ever get past this point, we'll be able to navigate around the character's face and manipulate them, but it's not actually happening on my computer, it's happening on someone else's computer. And that's kind of pretty cool technology that could very well evolve into something else. Some other type of integration of how you can actually work in using Unreal. It's basically a remote desktop, I guess, is sort of the idea. But I guess what they're doing here is they're starting up a server just for me so that I can manipulate some stuff. Oh, it's my lovely character I made. You haven't forgotten. This metahuman uses Groom currently in development. Only uses displayed at LODs 0 and 1. Here we go. So it doesn't really matter that it's very expensive because it's not running on my machine, I guess. Let's see here. It is pretty slick though. So, but that's not really what I'm planning on doing right now. I didn't really was thinking I was going to be making a custom character. I did that on another stream a while ago. So I will close that and we'll go back to this character. It says it's downloaded. It still says it needs to do something. That's not good. Textures, file names. Downloaded. That looks cool. Thanks, Hyphen. I feel like it's just gonna download it again. It is totally gonna download it again. How weird is that? Am I supposed to like restart my bridge or something? Is that why it's not working? I do remember this happening before my last stream. And I was like, no, it does work. There was even some other tricks I had to do to get it working, like the textures working and stuff. Where I had to get a version of what was it, DirectX 12 or 11 or something running in my Maya in order for me to be able to see this stuff in with textures. So it was kind of an ordeal. But we can cover that if we can just get it to work. See, this is MS plugin, Megascans plugin, where you can say apply material to text selection, which we'll get there. That was, I think, what happened when I clicked on that M button. But you can see the plugin is installed. It should be fine. Usually it doesn't say download, it says export. I think once this is finished downloading, I'm gonna close my Quixel bridge and reopen it and see if we can get it to talk to my Maya so that we can export. Or else I'm just looking in the wrong place, or I'm using the wrong type of character. I'm not sure which one it is. Seems a bit weird that I had to download it twice. Definitely not, something's not going right now. Hey, Owldra. Oh no, it's the name I'm supposed to remember. Owldra. Aldera. Anyways, welcome back. I appreciate that you're back again. We're having kind of a weird day here because I'm struggling to find things to do. So we're gonna see if we can get a metahuman character to work on 3D Max or in Maya again. And this time we're gonna explore how it works with a plugin. At least that's the idea. So we'll check this out, see what happens here. Are we gonna be able to click a character? There it goes. See, it says export now. So yeah, you have to close bridge, reopen it. Apparently that's the trick. I don't know why that was the trick, but that's what it is. So I'm gonna hit export, and we're gonna take a look at what's going on in Maya right now. You always have to have Maya kind of open, or any software you're using with Bridge open at the time that you're doing it. You should want to import metahuman character. All saves, changes will be lost. Yes, I want to import metahuman. Now we have a progress bar as it imports all the stuff. Owldra says, oh, I haven't checked that out, metahuman thing yet. Yeah. Well, this one's a bit, I mean, obviously you got metahuman in Unreal, and then you have metahuman with a control rig in Unreal, so you can animate it right in Unreal. And I have explored that before, although I am learning a lot more about control rig previously. But then you also have the option to bring it into Maya with a animatable. Wait, how does this go again? I feel like there was no body rig. It was just a face rig. I don't know, we're about to find out. It's 61%. But you can bring it into Maya and work with it in there. So we'll see what that's like again. I wasn't actually successfully able to do it during a stream because I couldn't figure out how to export it, but I just discovered now. And then I did it offline, and I discovered that you have to actually switch up your display so that it renders with DirectX so that you can see the textures on the body. But it should already be set to DirectX. I'll show you where the setting is once it's finished uploading, but hopefully we'll see textures when it imports. These are rather large files for sure. Like 8K textures, but then also lots of joints, lots of geometry, lots of skinning data. It's a really slow process to, in fact, I'm curious, what's my memory footprint right now? Oh, it's only 14 gigs. It's actually a lot less than I thought it would be. So, I guess that's a good thing. Although it is stuck at 70% right now, so I don't know. Mesh 74 of 763. Wow. So the other thing we were trying to do was get this other plugin working that was that I saw on the I don't know where I saw it. It was very random, but it's called PoseWrangler, and it's a little script that I'm pretty sure what it does is just lets you save poses made in the facial rig that we're about to see, and lets you store them, but also export them. Let me just read that for a second here. Does it say anything about export? Copy UE4 pose driver, base poses timeline, create driver, RMB pose drivers for options, pose drivers. These are all, oh, these are all upper body poses actually. Yeah, look, these are like thighs and lower arms. Interesting. So maybe it isn't related to facial specifically. Anyway, I couldn't get it working. I got stopped when I found out that it needs a plugin that's from 2018, which I don't know if that actually is a stopping point. I just can't seem to quite pinpoint what the heck this Maya UE4RBF plugin is, and whether or not I have it or not, and whether or not I need it to be in the right version. It's also possible that inside of the script, it's 82% loading right now. Inside the script, the PoseWrangler UI is where it's dictating the specific plugin that it needs, which is a 2018, and it might just be that you can, yeah, here it is. Just switch it to 2020 or whatever the version is you have. If not commands plugin info true loaded, then load plugins. So in theory, I could maybe just change that to 2020 and then it would work. I wonder if I can find that by just writing something in there. Oh, I'm still waiting for this thing to load. I don't have a version of Maya 2018 installed, so I can't actually demonstrate that. Hey, it finished. All right. What do we got here? Okay, we got creepy character. Oh, wait, textures are coming in. Excellent. We are actually able to see the textures. So to get the textures working, it was part of the, in the settings, DirectX shader, was it? I don't think so. The display, there it is. Rendering engine DirectX 11. Usually it defaults to, I think it's an OpenGL or something. Compatibility maybe or something. And so I had to switch it to DirectX for this to allow me to see the textures. It does come with a facial rig, and I think it works. Yep. Does not come with a body rig though. And, well, at least not one that I've found so far. But the, oops, which one is it? Joints. It does have the skeleton there. Every 300 million joints. But there's no way to control the body very well with a control rig. So not sure what the strategy was on that, but if you're just thinking about facial stuff, in theory, I guess you would be talking about maybe building some sort of retargeting system for the body joints that would drive the body motion, and then like working with the facial stuff. What's I don't know. Or you could just animate it in Unreal. There was this whole animation competition before the MetaHuman that happened back in May, and I never actually followed up with that. I don't know if people have accomplished amazing animations within Unreal, but I guess again with the control rig you can actually take motion capture and retarget it to the control rig, so you don't have to hand key the whole body animation. You can take a motion capture sequence, put it onto the control rig, and then clean it up instead of clean it up in the sequencer instead of like animating it from scratch. But this definitely has nothing to do with this Maya plugin or Maya workflow. Although I mean, if you're talking about facial stuff and you're talking about trying to do facial animations and you're hand keying it through here, you could take this animation that you're doing just of the facial joints, like only working with the facial joints, and export that, especially if you're doing like poses and things. But you can export it and layer it on top of a body mocap so that the two animations go additively together, so that you can have facial motion animation work on a body animation and have them originally created separately. That's how we would often do a lot of our sequences, especially if you're doing facial motion capture. But it's nice to have a tool set that is so extensive for facial stuff. Usually that's quite a rare commodity. I'm trying to turn off joints. That's what I want to do. Joints. English aristocrat. Man. Is that a good man or a bad man? Is that a overwhelmed? Or is it like, that's awesome. If you, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty tricky. When you got that many joints, you really gotta kind of break down what it is that you need to control. Because the way that they've done it is you have an LOD system. So you have a ton of joints, but you would each, like, if you look at the hierarchy, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not, but we're going to try and look at the hierarchy here. I know this is how it is because it's how it was set up in the, I can see it in Unreal. But they have like one nostril joint, which controls the nostril. I don't know if I can actually move it. It's probably, yeah, it's being driven. But all these other joints are parented to it, which control subtlety around the nose. So when they LOD, they get rid of like a whole bunch of these joints from influencing the skinning, and then they just use that one joint. So if you're ever trying to, like, I don't know, apply motion capture or something to it, you would only be working with, you know, the main pieces of the joints, and everything else would be only data if you have it. Like, you know, what are you going to do if you don't have it? I'll just definitely agreed with that. Fair enough. So what am I going to do now? I'm just going to try this plugin thing. Sorry, back to the boring stuff. I wanted to find out if... Oh, what do we got here? Animator J. Munoz. Thoughts on joints versus blend shapes on facial rigs. Oh, okay, here we go. That's a conversation. I'll just says it takes a lot of time. So let's not take in. Yeah, it does take out. There's a ton of stuff here to take in for sure. So morph targets is a totally acceptable workflow for facial animation. But this is totally not morph targets. This is all very much joint based. And I personally like joint-based because it's got that flexibility, the ability to like, all you got to do is make the joints in a different position and reskinned to match to different faces. And that data can be potentially shared between the different faces. So when you're talking about metahumans, the fact that all these characters, different looking characters, have to be running up the same animations, it makes sense that they would pick joints because they would all just have to be configured accurately and then they could share each other's animations. But when you deal with blend shapes, you're working with vertices instead of joints, so you have to be a lot more careful with your pipeline. So if people are changing the mesh, you've got to make adjustments to your morph targets, and you got to come up with solutions for that. But it's also much harder to share it. Like, you don't have this preset motion as easily as you do with joints to determine all the different movements. I mean, all these things are solvable. It's just, in this case, you could make a huge variation of your character rigs and you'd still be able to share the animations with each other. I guess that's why there's that gorilla. I wonder if I can find it from Sarah. She gave it to me. Gorilla. Using the same rig as the metahumans and adjusting the joint position to match with the new skinning positions. So, like, this obviously is doing something cool and fancy where you're running some kind of script that's allowing it to match. And I don't know whether this is a script that we have access to or not, but it might just be somebody showing off their own tools. Everybody's asking. But it just goes to show how joints is kind of handy, because in this case you just move the joints and have it skinned, and then you can go back and have the motions will actually translate across. Sarah says, breaks my brain just thinking about it. Yeah, I think the people that made the metahuman system, I mean, I definitely got to give them a lot of kudos, because it's a pretty wildly complicated system, and it not only does it do the motions really nice, but it also like LODs so that you can run it on really light systems and really heavy systems, and it will automatically adjust itself to make sure that not only the vertices are lowered, but also the joint counts are. That's pretty amazing. But I'm only just trying to figure out how to get it involved, and I think a lot of these people are exploring this as well, and building ways to utilize all this amazing technology for what MetaHuman does, and then apply it to their own characters so that they can have that awesome face rig ready to go. But it's cool strategy. It takes a lot of R&D, and maybe it seems likely that one day it'll be available and free. And I kind of thought this GitHub one was what that was, but because it's actually written by the guys from Epic, I thought it was kind of like, oh look, you can, although it does kind of ruin their whole concept of making, they're trying to make money off of the fact that you create custom metahumans, right? So if you would just have the access to a tool that would let you make whatever character you want, that would be kind of breaking the whole philosophy of why they had the system. However, I still think this is kind of an interesting tool. It would be kind of neat to know how it works. I am a little surprised that it's using body joints instead of facial joints. I don't really quite get it. They're all drivers, so they're driving other types of movements. So I just, it's really hard to figure it out. I just don't understand what its purpose is. Just kind of wanted to play with it. Oh, and Animator J says, thank you for your thoughts. All right, appreciate it. I mean, I appreciate that I got to talk about it. If you have any other questions, feel free to throw them at me. In the meantime, I'm gonna see if I can find out what this script was. I wonder if I can just wait, like, can I get some kind of information from that? How do I find out if it exists? It just says live link. Oh, I know. Let's check the plugins. Hey, there we go. It does exist. Alright. So maybe we can get this working. All we gotta do is change the code. Is this one located in Maya 20s? Yeah, I could probably change this one. So we'll do a find and replace. Switch all this with 2020. That's it, just the two of them. Save it. Let's just try running it. PoseWrangler, Wrangler. Run it, show UI. Wait, what happened there? Oh, runtime. Let's just clear that for a second here. That's too bad. It still is there. Oh, maybe I have to refresh it. Line 54. Double check. Line 54. I think I've still got a cached version of this file. Or I've got my paths wrong here. My 2020 scripts, PoseWrangler, UI. Yeah. Not really sure. What a good way to refresh the we'll see. I don't know. Let's see what we're gonna get here. I'm gonna try opening it up again, try to run it, see if we get any UI showing up. And if that's the case, then we'll bring in that metahuman again and see if we can do anything with it. I don't know. Hey, look at that! It works. Isn't that crazy? I don't even know what I'm doing. Like what? Okay, let's go grab a metahuman character. So we export it again. It's interesting that they don't bring the hair. I mean, it makes sense they don't bring the hair because the hair is kind of running dynamically in Unreal. But if you were ever, I guess the whole point is it has nothing to do with modifying the character. It has only to do with joint animation. So you're just getting the raw skeleton skinning and control rig just for animating. But the hair technically does have a LOD that goes down to hair cards. So I don't know, maybe the hair cards is just not important. Oh, I forgot to say yes. I wonder if it'll load any faster this time. Oh, we get to see a little bit of progress here with our little logs. It's a very slow workflow though. I mean, if you were like come to work in the day and you're like, oh, I gotta go animate on this character, just opening the file is like 5 minutes. Maybe it's not 5 minutes, but it's painful. You really have to be like careful about what you're going to do with your file before you open it. But now we gotta figure out what this PoseWrangler UI does. I still don't know what RBF stands for. Doesn't have any initials that I can kind of connect to. I don't know what it means. I mean, I got the plugin, so it's got an RBF plugin. Maybe the middle word is bridge. Something bridge. If you guys ever come up with any ideas, let me know. So I can resolve that mystery. Oh, we're only at 70%. All right, what else? So one of the things I think I've talked about this last week, but if you were to actually try to bring your own custom stuff, it goes into local here. Oh look, the metahumans are here too. Oh, interesting. Maybe I could have just, oh yeah, maybe I could have just grabbed it from here. If you're bringing anything custom, you can import them from Mixer into Bridge, so that you can take it from Mixer and bring it, or sorry, from Bridge and bring it to wherever. If you're going to bring it to Maya or to Unreal, you can take those assets and bring them through, which is kind of an interesting workflow that they were exploring, or at least they're talking about exploring more at Unreal, so that it can become a place where you can store your own content and use it for whatever projects you happen to be working on. It can be like a library of shared assets, and I think what we're talking about doing at CG Spectrum is trying to bring in a library of maybe student work and things that we can add to our own CG Spectrum work. But we have to figure out how to get this local drive to be accessed from a external source. It might just be like a cloud drive, right? Like, you know, have a sync app to Box or something, and you have a sync to a folder, and then that's what you link your bridge to. There is a place somewhere in here for doing settings. What? Why don't I just have a settings inside of my settings? No, that's not it. What am I missing here? Where's our settings options? Used to be just in the corner there. Maybe it's part of this now. Or do I... Maybe I can right click on it or something? Weird. I don't know. I'll have to look for the... See if you can still choose it. Back in the day, you could choose where your Megascans repository... Oh, here it is. File. Ah, okay. There we go. I wasn't thinking out of the box. Literally. Import assets. Oh, that's interesting. Import asset. I wonder how that's supposed to work. Import zip files. Settings. Manage plugins. Download settings. Export settings. Alright, we'll go here. There we go. You got your license file, which used to matter more in your library path, so you can change where your path of your library is. But I think that's your that might be your local, actually. Could be. Location where Megascan's library is saved and accessed locally on the machine. Share usage data, that doesn't really matter. Server path. Oh, the location of an enterprise server on the local network that is accessed by the machine. Data from this server is used instead of internet access. Okay, well, guess that's not going to help people over the internet, but maybe it would matter if you put it to a shared sync folder from Box or something. I don't know why that's any different than this though. Anyway, once you pick out where your repository is, you obviously get, this is where all the downloaded stuff comes, and they all sit inside of mini subfolders. So one day I'll try to figure that out, see if we can get like a workflow going for sharing assets inside of Bridge. Because Bridge is going to probably be a pretty substantial workflow for moving content to and from, especially Unreal. Okay, so here we are. We got ourselves our meta-human back again. And still no textures yet. Oh, there we go. Now, we have ourselves a PoseWrangler. What are we going to do about it? Let's create a driver. I always like to call it test. Oh, wow. It just built a whole bunch of stuff here. I needed to refresh it, I guess, after the character had been imported. Okay, so oh, here's a refresh button. That did nothing. So we got poses, and we got driver transform, driver transforms, base poses, make poses to timeline. Well, that's cool. So I guess maybe it'd be like this: frame 1 is pose 1, frame 5 is pose 2, or maybe frame 2 is pose 2. Then you export that as an animation line. That's actually what we did back in the day. Well, that was something I could have done today, is go back to our previous character stuff. Anyways, it wasn't that interesting, but maybe that's what I'll do. I've run out of stuff to talk about next time. Copy UE4 pose driver. I wonder if that just puts it in the clipboard or something. So we'll see if we can do a pose here. Oops, where's our mouth open here? Great driver. This isn't gonna make any sense. Pretty sure that's not what these are. It's putting them in the solvers, which is like, what? What is a solver for? Let's go back to the web page and find out more, see if we can dig out any more information about this. Simple visual front end to the Maya UE4 RBGBF plugin delivered with MetaHumans. In this particular screenshot, they have a solver picked, and then maybe that opens up the options to be able to do stuff. Ah, yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, look at all these things are in here. All right, so these ones I'm creating, let's just get rid of these. Oh, I see. Once you create it, then you pick it and you can add stuff. Driver transform is calf. Driver, knee, twist, knee. Maybe what that's allowing you to do is when you move one of the joints, it'll move the following joints properly. Poses, base pose. Oh, look at that. We do have a pose in there. That would be useful for like skinning, I guess. Oh, they layer on top of each other too. Interesting. Wow. They're all like body poses, aren't they? I don't think this is really meant to be like for animating or doing nice poses. I think it's just for like skinning purposes, but especially if you're like, I guess we're trying to build something around it, you'd want like, I don't know, I'm just totally guessing here, but I know often when you're doing skinning, you want like poses to be done like this so that you can test how the manipulation is, and you could key it on the timeline and then scrub between it. That's what I usually use it for. This character doesn't need to be skinned though, because it's already done a nice job of skinning it. But maybe it's for something that's manipulated with it or something, I don't know. It's a bit strange why we can edit it and stuff too. I'm tempted to make a new one again. Let's see if we can do... Do I have to have like joints selected for this or what? I don't know what that was because that doesn't even have any facial bones attached to it. So is this the one that has the facial bones? EHI body. It's got the thumb, the clavicle. Here's the head. It doesn't have any joints. So what's in this one? Oh, here's all the facial joints. We got the spine, neck, head, and then it goes into the facial stuff. It's kind of weird that they're different skeletons. It's not usually how things are done, so I am unsure of what the strategy is for all this stuff. We got our Spino 4 is the root of the hierarchy. And then we have another Spino 4 here. This is DHI head, and this is DHI body. Okay. I don't know, maybe attach it. It's got the arms and everything in it, doesn't it? Yeah, clavicles and stuff. I wonder which ones have manipulation of the actual skinning here. Oh, I can't do that, it's driven. No, I'm pretty sure that has no manipulation. That one is being controlled. Pretty fancy and complicated. Definitely not what you normally would see in a control rig or a skeleton of a hierarchy of a character. This is way weirder. And I still don't quite understand what the point of this is for. Oh, copy paste driven tries. No, that's not. Add driven transform, add pose, edit pose. Oh, you can mirror pose. Has nothing to do with facial stuff, which is like, what's the point? Alright, we'll just put my driver in there and then we will select it. Oh look, my driver has a whole bunch of stuff in it. That doesn't seem right. I'm breaking things and it doesn't make any sense. Well, unfortunately, as I'm running out of time, this is going to leave everybody with this really disappointed impression of what this can do. But I guess that's what it's going to do for me too. I'm going to be like, what? It didn't do anything interesting. Because if it was doing facial poses, and I could kind of see where that's coming from, because you could create your own targets. Not that you really need to create more facial targets, I guess. What would you use it for? I don't know. I'm kind of seeing the name PoseWrangler. That makes sense. It's like, this is a way to store and organize all your poses so that you can work with them. But from somebody who's actually using MetaHuman, it seems more like it's useful for somebody creating a MetaHuman rig than it is for somebody planning on animating with it or anything. Let's see if we can grab some skeletons and do some crazy stuff, because I don't really care anymore about breaking my rig. So we'll put on the X-ray skeleton, turn on joints. Let's see. Does any of this allow me to do anything? Oh, it does. I can just grab stuff. Grabbing the thigh. Body. To make sure you get the right joint, apparently. Wow, look at all the way those joints are moving differently as I rotate it. That's like, those are corrective offset positioning. That's crazy. It's necessary, but also it means that there's a lot of internal scripting going on to manipulate where those, like each of those joints have a little bit of skinning influence of the geometry, but they're being told to move in a slightly different direction just to help reposition the mesh. And it does a great job. I mean, it's amazing. But at the same time, you're like, whoa, that's gotta be complicated. I wonder where that is all being stored. It's been a while since I've used any of the what is it called anyways? I forget. Script editor, command shell. I thought there was one that allowed you to see like a per joint script. Or was it when you went here? I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I was just hoping that I could kind of show, or at least investigate if it actually happened. That they have sometimes these. Oh, here, maybe this is it. Connection editor. No, not connection editor. Driven key, attribute editor, material attributes, connection editor, channel control. Expressions, that's what it was. They don't have any expressions, so not nearly as exciting. It was scene configuration node, playback options, UI. I think this is maybe the default Maya. Machine generated. Yeah, I don't know. Doing some kind of black magic somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Anyways, I better wrap it up. It's at the end of the thing. Thanks for everybody who was, if anybody has hung out this long. This is it's been quite an accomplishment, to be honest. It's very difficult stuff that we're covering today, and but that's part of the process, as sometimes it can be. You just have to explore and dig. Did find out a few things that are kind of interesting about MetaHuman, but yeah, just wasn't quite as rewarding as I was hoping for. Anyways, we had fun in the beginning. I got to do check out Benjamin Omen's project, and that was kind of exciting. But next week we're going to try to find something else fun to do, and maybe work with Sarah. Just said like, all right, we'll do another hour. We'll keep going. No, just kidding. Hey, we do have some people here. All right, thanks guys for hanging out. Next week we'll probably try to find something fun to do inside of Unreal and see if we can come up with something exciting, even if it's just sort of like fluffy stuff, just to break it up so it's not always dry meetings of trying to solve really complicated issues. Anyways, thanks again for everybody showing up. I'll see you guys again next week. All right, see you everybody.